Hello everyone and welcome to another pick a card reading. Today's subject is taking a look at how this Venus retrograde season, which started on the 22nd, 23rd of July and is going to last until the 3rd of September, is going to play out in your life and potential guidance with that. Now, this Venus retrograde is in the sign of Leo and in its totality. So Venus is going to retrograde only in the sign of Leo. It's not going to exit this sign. And Leo does rule our hearts, our creative centers, the inner child, our love and passion and sensuality. So it can be quite a complex energy. Now, Venus in tarot is none other than the Empress card. That is why you are invited to choose from three different empresses of their respective decks, of course. And based on the empress that you choose, we'll be using that particular tarot deck to look at your Venus retrograde season, the main themes, and of course guidance. So this is the first Venus Empress, this is the second one, and this is the third one. I'm just going to allow a couple of seconds for you to make your choice. And then we'll start straight away with the first one. So it was this Empress. We're going to be putting the Empress back into her deck. And of course then shuffling. So we are asking Spirit to give us some guidance, the main theme of what your Venus retrograde is going to be. Now, of course, if you know a bit of astrology, Venus will rule your second house and seventh house, so where Taurus and Libra are in your chart, and of course Leo. So first we have the Seven of Swords reversed. These are a bit too many. So we have the High Priest reversed and the Chariot reversed. Very interesting. We have the Two of Swords and we have the Eight of Wands. And I'm just gonna draw another one because we do have clarifier cards here, which are not tarot, but they can still prove very, very useful. So one more. And the Strength card. The Strength card is so interesting because it actually is the depiction of the sign of Leo. So the Seven of Swords reversed, now this without a shadow of a doubt represents that this Venus retrograde is influencing you, inviting you, determining you from your heart space to look at your life and everything in it, especially in the present, because the Seven of Swords energy is more like the present, what we have right now, and see what is futile and what is not. Now the Seven of Swords can depict which community, which group of people, or a part of society you belong to. There are certain futile energies there, futile people, futile goals, futile principles, futile ideals, even hopes and dreams, where you are there or doing it or part of it just for the sake of, being there. It might have been very useful, it might have been meaningful, significant at one point in your life, but much of that, it has simply outlived its purpose. So right now, want it or not, like it or not perhaps, but this is the energy of detachment. This is the energy where everything that you're putting out there, thoughts, whatever shape and form energy can take, resources, support, love, whatever that is simply returning into your life. But this isn't necessarily pleasant for you, because you might experience this, you might perceive this as a certain kind of burnout. Is that connection, relationship so stale? No matter what I do, it just isn't revigorating at all. May that be a friendship, may that be, as I said, you belonging to something or someone, a group of people, but this can also be something on the internet. If you're part of, I don't know, a kind of group or community, this can be, for example, within a career, within a job. Certain colleagues or a certain part of that job, a certain function, a certain role. Things which are truly energetically, especially energetically outdated. And, they're just like dead organs in a sense, which weigh you down from your evolution, from your path forward. These are being highlighted. But first of all, as inner energy, as where it even comes to your thoughts, because ultimately that's the Seven of Swords. That why is it so stale? Why do I have the feeling that no matter what I put in it, energy, time, whatever, it's just not becoming fruitful? Moving on, we have the High Priest reverse. Now, this High Priest, for some people, does represent something legally binding, like a contract. For example, a job contract, career contract, whatever, a loan, or something that, as I said before, legally binding to a certain degree, or for some people, quite in a serious manner. For example, like a marriage. Even though I do not really think it's all that much about romance for the first pile, if you know what I mean. It's much more like, who you are connected to legally. So a job, an institution, something, someone who you do share a commitment with. So again, a contract might be at the base of this. So you're really, really thinking how to basically stop it, how to detach from it, how to break it up or modify it. Because next we have the Chariot reverse. So again, the Chariot, it represents our path towards our hopes and dreams, higher ground, towards our dreams, towards whatever we want to conquer in life, more or less. And it's at full stop. So it's not moving forward. It's parked, so to speak, basically, because the High Priest, because, the High Priest in physical reality, let's say, in today's society, can very well express itself as a contract, as a legally binding decision. One of the best symbols is marriage. But I must say again that I don't think for pile 1 it's actually in romantic sense, but an agreement. But in other terms, a more elevated, more spiritual, more esoteric expression is your deep faith. And the High Priest is actually Taurus in tarot, and Venus rules Taurus. So it's all about value. It's all about value that you can believe in. May it be something internal, a talent, self-worth, self-esteem. How loved do you feel in your life? How lovable you feel in your life? Now all of that, is like a kind of value. And if it's not working, or if it it is very clear to you that it's outdated, you need more, or something totally different, or you outgrew it, well, that's why this Chariot is not going forward. So if this is your job, if this is your career, if for some people, if this is your life path, well, that doesn't necessarily mean that there it is, it's gone. You have to start something totally new from scratch. It's more like the modus operandi. It's more like the, I don't know, your own unique way, how you embody it, how you immerse into it. Maybe it's time for something new, something better, something more. No, Taurus, the high priest, Uranus is there, and Venus will connect with Uranus again, a square. So that means you really, really need to embody your authenticity to get your chariot going. Because the chariot, when it is, upright, when it is back on track, going fast forward, that will give you the sensation, the feeling that yes, things are progressing towards your greater satisfaction. Because, I do believe that the High Priest reversed and the Seven of Swords reversed, and of course, let's add the Chariot reversed as well, is a very strong depiction that you did invest a lot of passion, a lot of energy, a lot of faith, a lot of hope, and a lot of, service, perhaps the Seven of Swords, into stabilizing this, making it a valuable part of your life, maybe investing into your mastery. And that doesn't necessarily mean financial investments. Repetition, doing it, even when it's hard, even when it's challenging, choosing to face it, to be it, to research, to invest, blood, sweat, and tears. So if that is the past and the past energy, well, of course, maybe you came to a moment when this Venus retrograde in Leo's heart energy is telling you, well, you're not really getting what you deserve out of it. Because the high priest is earthly energy. The high priest is how we embody stuff. The faith, of course, is there, the principles, the higher octave of, knowledge, of, whatever we can link to the high priest card, to the energy of Taurus. But ultimately, the essence is how we embody it. So basically, the embodiment of this energy, as the Chariot reversed suggests, is not enough for you in the present. It's not reflective of what you truly deserve. And this is also with the Seven of Swords reversed, more like a higher self energy. Not necessarily unconscious, but rather higher self, where, your higher mind, your higher intellectual functions are reflecting through synchronicities, through maybe even this very message, that, well, you can make it work, but it will be a struggle, because it's simply not reflecting of what you deserve in the future. The present is stale the way it is, but this is very much about the future. And then the Two of Swords. Right now, things are somewhat in clarity because you're feeling this. And even when I'm recording this reading, we have Venus retrograde conjunct Mercury in Leo. So that is where you're actually understanding information and you are able to translate your own feelings into something concrete, understandable, perceivable by you. So this may resonate strongly that you're actually getting the information, you're getting the clarity that for the future, this setup, may it be career, a contract, the way work, or wherever these connections, you belonging to something, may it be like concrete people, group, internet stuff, or may it be certain alliances that you have in your life, friendships or lucrative alliances, associations, etc., etc. Those are already outdated. So you know this, but what you cannot see is how this might change. Because you do need some opportunities, you do need some external energies in your life to give you the alternative, to give you everything that you need for this chariot to keep on, going back on track towards your satisfaction, towards your happiness, towards you being able to embody your faith, your principles, and your true value. And also, this Two of Swords represent an imminent decision that you might need to make, perhaps towards the end of this Venus retrograde or after. the Eight of Wands. Now, the Eight of Wands either represents a new ally, a new person, new business, new connection coming very swiftly, surprisingly, maybe sometimes in an instant, at the right timing, of course, in your life that will suddenly give you the choice, the power to make the choice, the power to make this decision. And this can come from either abroad, from a different culture, maybe a country, or a distant, more distant place where you've been already at a point in your life but you had to leave it for any reason. Or if it's like business, it's definitely coming via the internet. Or, the internet connects everyone from, regardless where there are on the planet. So this can very well be international energy that is coming. Maybe an offer, maybe the first spark that this connection can, develop into something concrete. Or it can also be like an invitation for you to relocate, to travel, to go to that place, to go to that company, to go to that interview, to go to that country. For other people still, this might be even studies, a new course of study, or an exchange if you're a student, that those exchange programs. And finally, the strength, well, that is so clear. That will be the energy, that will be the connection that will spark up your heart space, your passion. That is the moment when you will feel the opposite of burnout, when you're full of initiative, when you're full of creativity, when you actually are excited and you love the future. You're really, really looking forward to it. Going back a little bit to this Eight of Wands, maybe this is where someone is visiting you, someone from abroad. Or maybe this is where you go on holiday or travel and something gets connected there. Or for other people still, this can be the energy that in the past, maybe not that long ago, 7 months or 7 weeks, something like that, you've done a work or you added some kind of value into someone's life, especially abroad. They're abroad, or they're a friend of a friend, or they are in a foreign country, culture, whatever to yours, and it might have been unconditional, and that comes back into your life because they see the value. They immediately, like a light bulb moment, a Uranian moment, they, through an epiphany, immediately feel the value that they need you in their life as a friend or as a specialist, or they just need you, and communication might come from there. So let us pick an astrology card. Maybe this will illuminate how this energy might play out for you more astrologically speaking. So what came out is Capricorn, but I would like another one. Come on, another one. And we have Cancer. Oh, okay. So Capricorn and Cancer are, the midheaven and fourth house axis. So the MC and IC axis. So this definitely can mean for some people relocation. But the Capricorn energy is where you climb the mountain through hard work, through efforts, through, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, a planet which does require a lot of sacrifice, diligence, wisdom, patience sometimes. And I do believe that is fulfilled. And because the energy, energetically at least, it's fulfilled, it's coming down, reflecting in your fourth house. Or not, don't take it as such that this necessarily has to be your own unique, typical 4th and 10th and 4th house in your chart. Every 10th house, every 4th house takes the specific of Capricorn and Cancer, regardless of what sign it is, if you know what I mean. So this is where it might really trigger your home, where your roots are, where you feel your roots are, your emotional security, exactly the burnout. You need to feel nurtured, you need to feel safe, you need to be supported and stable in order for you to be able to shoot up energy into Capricorn. So I do believe for some people either this is a big step in career, or for other people this is a relocation or an invitation, at least to travel where you might find a second home, which is really, really going to spark up your creativity and your sense of fulfillment with your job. Now, another astrological cards. This is called Astro Tarot, and this just gives a really, really good shape and depiction to the astrological energies. So let's see what card might pop out from this one. So we have this card, which embodies the energy of Gemini and Cancer. So this to me immediately says that this connection might be like a brotherly, sisterly kind of connection, where that person, or even if it's a group of people, the ambassador of that needs to be a person. So the contact person feels you like a very, very familiar soul, someone who they're intuitively or in any way, shape, and form, they just know they can connect with and they can collaborate with. So an offer of, an alliance, a friendship, of collaboration, or anything like that, because you do have a lot in common. And the other card is again, Libra and Virgo. Seventh house. Someone knocks at the door with an offer, or a surprise visit, as I said, or a solution to your problem. And finally, an oracle card or two. So what guidance you get from the oracle card? Ooh, that one flew away. So we have new experiences and possibilities. I do believe that this is self-explanatory and it ties so well together with the main message, because exactly the Eight of Wands is going to open something new for you. And based on that new, as I said, that's how you navigate out from that which is stale, that which is no longer resonant. And this is not just the simple feeling, this is the sheer knowledge that the universe, your guides, or synchronistic forces are letting you know quite in a direct way what it is that it does no longer serves you, what it is that just proves futile, to invest more energy, to keep it in your life the way it is, will be just futile. It will not bring you anything new, at least. So this is where it's encouraging you to take the leap forward, to embrace the new, to embrace whatever, life is going to offer you as a substitute, or to change these stale cards. So this is what I have for you, pile number one, the first Empress. Thank you so much for listening, and if you liked this and enjoyed it, be sure to like and share the video. Thank you so much. Until next time. So, hello everyone who has chosen the second Empress. We are going to be putting her back into the deck and then shuffling to see what kind of Venus retrograde themes might appear in your life. So I think we're all set. So let us ask Spirit your main theme for this Venus retrograde. Again, I have to repeat in case you didn't watch the beginning. Venus retrograde started on the 22nd, 23rd of July, and it's gonna last until the 3rd of September, and it is gonna retrograde in the sign of Leo. So we have the Lovers and the Hermit. Oh, this is quite Venusian, I have to say. And both of these are major arcana. So maybe for you, pile number 2 is really, really significant. Come on, spirit guides. 9 of Pentacles. The Tower. The Magician reversed. So I think for the previous pile I drew 6. So, well, two popped out. So we have the 4 of Cups reversed and the 5 of Swords reversed. We're gonna leave it like this. Now the Lovers. That is really, really significant because, I do have this feeling and this sensation that for you guys, either it's about your existing relationship, your partnership, in a romantic sense, marriage or anything similar, but also for others, this is more about the most important alliance in your life, which might not necessarily be romantic. It can be a very, very strong friendship. It can be where someone is already considered as family, etc., etc. While for others, still, the Lover's card can represent like a contract, like an agreement, like, maybe a non official, non legally binding alliance, but that kind of represents that it's usually karmic. So if it's not like a proper contract which you signed and it can be binding in the courts of justice, then it's karmic. It is like a karmic agreement, a karmic union, so to speak, where of course the two elements are bound in ether, or you have something from past lives. That can very well also be the case. But for others still, this is where you were on a soul seeking journey. No, either this is depicted by the Hermit. Either you are a student, so this is where it's your actual studies, but for others still, I do believe that this is much more like where the universe, where your own inner forces guided you to learn what to learn, to master something, to research something. And maybe this is where there was a time in your life where it was you and everyone else. And everyone else had their learning, had their, how they accumulate information, how they reach mastery in a rather classical sense, easy sense, where they had, like books, like information, courses handed down to them. But for you, that didn't resonate. So you had to choose, like it or not, the hard way. The hermit is usually depicted with his lantern, with his inner light, researching, observing reality, observing something, and that means your own methodology was born. Your own unique take on things, your own unique knowledge, your own unique vision. So maybe spirit downloaded something into you, your mental sphere, and you had that hermit's journey, 9 months, for some even 9 years, where you had to really, really make sense of that, develop your own methodology, your own mastery, and that meant that you were more or less solo, more or less single. It was solitary, maybe not necessarily physically, but on a soul level. But no matter how many people were around you, even if you had some kind of partner, you were definitely alone on this. While for others, going back to the first example, it is your partnership or very strong connection, or it is, your marriage. But where, as I said, in certain things you were still solo, because only you could do some things, but you still felt, and maybe even feeling right now, alone or solo in the relationship. But this is where the Nine of Coins comes into play, because the Nine of Coins is the card of fulfilled worth and value. You found, you understood, you understood your true values, or whatever it is that you had to do solo in the relationship. Now you have a grip on it. Mental grip, as in you truly understand why and how, and also physical grip, in a sense that you master something, you possess something, you're very, very good at something. There is infinitely high value within you in regards to something. Maybe for some people, this is more like, their spiritual journey, their journey towards greater knowledge, greater spiritual power, manifesting something. But before manifestation, you do need to know that you're a master of something. So it was that kind of journey where the partner could not help. Now we get to the Tower card, which I do believe is the essence of this reading, of this pick a card reading. And the Tower can so very well reflect when Venus retrograde is going to be squaring Uranus in Taurus again. Yes, the Tower is more like Mars, but Mars was also in the sign of Leo. Mars also squared Uranus, and maybe Venus retrograde is going to just reactivate the square point. So it is coming. But I do believe that the Tower moment is when, you know, you are confronted either with a reality, or this is when you need to make a very, very strong and binding decision for the future, especially if you are in a partnership. So, I have to separate this group into two because of the Lover's card. So for those of you for whom this is a marriage or partnership or romantic love that already exists in your life, this is the moment, the Tower card, when you have everything that you need to know. If you're gonna go solo from here, the Hermit, you're gonna just choose the Hermit mode and go to walk your path in that sense. Or if you know you have everything that you need to integrate your partner into this. So to not just save the partnership, but to elevate it onto a whole other level where your partner can join you, where your partner can be an equal in this journey that you were on. So for those of you for whom it was a partnership, this is where whatever cross you had to bear alone, now your partner's coming into play and, actually offering their shoulder because they're ready, because they grew into it, because they evolved. While for others still, whatever the Venus retrograde is, telling you in your life, the partner has to go solo because the alliance will just not work, but in the most loving way. Because if you will decide to not stay with your partner, then that is because of the reason that it's for the highest good for your partner, because you just cannot fulfill them anymore. Because something else is calling you, and that something else is actually your true worth. You reaching, a I don't want to say final stage, but final stage in this cycle of, everything that is earthly in your life. For example, whatever you mastered, now you need to give it a physical form which will support you, which will, make you feel wonderful, which will make you feel prosperous, one way or another, and that is like the breath of fresh air that you so much need in your life. Now for the other group, for those who are single, and this hermit represented your path alone, this is where the tower moment, yes, absolutely. This Nine of Pentacles will attract a person into your life, another person into your life, who, as the lovers depict, is very, very much like you. There is a strong, like, I don't believe in twin flames. I do believe that, to a certain extent, that is like forced quantum physics translated into spirituality. But I don't know which other word I should use to depict this. Like a very, very familiar soul. Like someone who you actually had connections and alliances in previous existences. But your alliance was not based on just romance and attraction. There were skills there. Where your skill and this other person's skill completed each other, and you made a very strong alliance. You know, that as the Tower card depicts, way too strong for that previous life. Because through that alliance, you kind of upset balances in the world and community and certain threads that were weaving at that moment in history. So that's why you had to be separated. But now, when you're humbled and when you, through strong, meticulous work, understand why certain things need to be in a certain way, the path of the monk, basically, in this incarnation, both of you had this hardship, this solitude, this work to reach a certain kind of mastery. But since both of you completed it now, and only now can you embrace each other through true value. And this is what the Tower card represents for you guys, those who are single, that someone is coming in a shocking way, in an unexpected way, in a stark way, as a surprise in life. Of course, it will upset everything, every balance in your life. It will, without a shadow of a doubt. The Magician reversed. First, when the Magician is upright, you have things more or less under control, balance. There, things in life make sense, especially rational sense. The Magician reversed, everything is out of control, but it's exciting. It's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to observe. It's an opportunity to use your intelligence to integrate whatever is upsetting your life. So the Magician reversed in this sense is actually quite positive, because it really means surprise, and there's no way to control it, anticipate it. All you can do at that moment is just dwell into it, dive into it, and see. And finally, we have the Five of Swords reversed. Now, the Five of Swords was once upright, and that means mental sabotage. That means a lot of overthinking. That means judging, analyzing rationally the situation in a wrong way. For example, for those of you for whom is it partnership and, you know, a marriage that's already existing in your life, or any kind of alliance, this is where this Five of Swords represent that you were kind of afraid. What if the partner doesn't get it? What if they get lost? What if, you know, a lot of what ifs of everything that could go wrong. And this kind of put you into fear mentality and a certain kind of mistrust. I better not share this and that with the partner or husband, wife, or whatever, because they cannot understand it. It will scare them, it will upset them. They have a lot on their plate anyway. So a certain kind of mistrust, if you know what I mean. Well, for those of you who are single, this is where my hermit's journey will never end. This is not getting me anywhere. Whatever I'm working on, my mastery, whatever spirit is offering to me, well, it's too sci-fi to ever be part of my life. How will this support me? So, but now it's reversed. Why? Because the Nine of Pentacles is upright. So you kind of, reality doesn't make sense in any other way. You know, it you get it, you understand it, it's already starting to support you. You feel your worth, you feel your value, you feel the results of your sacrifices. So the Five of Swords, as I said, it's reversed because you are actually in the right now. You're on the right path mentally. That doesn't mean that fears don't come in. That doesn't mean that you don't question healthy faith. As my favorite astrologer Nadia Shah always says, healthy faith questions itself. The Five of Swords, healthy, and that Five of Swords can also represent the advice, the guidance, the opinion, the communication of other people. Even if that communication is loving, whatever advice they gave you, it was just wasn't for you, and it kind of blocked you. It done more harm than good. But finally, the Four of Cups reversed. That is also very significant because the Four of Cups upright is the card of contemplation. It is the card of meditation. It is the card when you really want to figure it out, especially emotionally speaking, what is in your heart in that sense. But usually the answer or the epiphany is right at under our nose, but we cannot see it. When the Four of Cups is reversed, this is when the epiphany is under our nose, but how it can come into our lives, now that is the deep mystery. And along with the Five of Swords reversed, this is where there is definitely a great mystery playing out in your life. When you feel it, when you anticipate it in feeling that something is going to change, the Tower card, you feel the Tower card coming, but it doesn't make sense. You cannot figure it out through logic, through common sense, not even with your intuitive skills, not even with divination, not even with astrology, how things could possibly change. Change in the sense that that partner coming into your life, or how your relationship is going to go forward. So depending on which aspect of this reading resonated for you. Now, long story short, let us draw a few astrology cards. Maybe that can shed a light on where and how. So ooh. So we have Saturn. Exactly, Saturn is the symbol of the hard work. Or Saturn right now is in Pisces. That means carrying the karmic cross on your back, on your shoulder, and solo, but now maybe your partner can come into play and help you out. So doing something with your partner. And Pallas Athena, how wonderful. If I'm not mistaken, Pallas Athena was in Leo when Venus started retrograding, or when Venus was in shadow, and now it's moving on to Virgo. In Leo, it is the heart space, but in Virgo, exactly the hermit. Methodology, how to do it, the strategy. Pallas Athena in mythology was a goddess or a deity who really, really helped heroes in difficulty. You know, when the three fates, have woven or determined a really dark fate or a really not so pleasant fate for a hero, for a relevant figure, and they needed to find a way how to, make compromise, because it's very clear that you cannot escape your fate, but you can transmute it. It was mostly Pallas Athena who came with the idea, who came with the tactics, who came with the help, compromise, etc., etc. So she is a very, very benevolent energy. When the impossible becomes possible through thinking, through methodology, through tactics, through, for example, Persephone. Persephone's situation was actually aided by Pallas Athena. She was one of the power players who came up with the compromise. So this Pallas Athena might represent that where is she in your chart? And how can she influence your partnership in that sense? And Saturn, as I said, that usually means either you're having your Saturn return, so of course the energies are not so favorable. So in a sense that it's hard. And or better said, maybe Saturn is your natal Saturn is aspected in a certain way in your chart, so that might be relevant of what you can expect. Now let me just get some other astro tarot cards which translate the astrological energies into something visual. I really like these cards. So okay, we have the energy of Cancer and Pisces, but the image is very suggestive. So this is where something, the old hardship, as you see, the mermaid is washed ashore, dying. The old energy has to be left, exactly as I said, to die, to be washed away. And the mermaid can also represent the illusion, as I said, the Five of Swords and the Five of Cups when they were upright together, that you could not see it. You just overthought the situation. But this is the energy of disillusioning, when things get really clear and you will know what to do. And this again, dancing, with death. But death, of course, is change. It is transformation. Where your faith, you celebrate your faith. And death just takes away the illusion. That which is no longer serving in your life. And how does this fit together with the partnership? If it's a marriage that you have, then you will reach the final conclusions of what it is that you have to do to go step into the future. Either together in a different format where you resurrect your relationship, or separate, but as I said, I don't think the separation is maybe just sensually, physically separate, but you are still soulmates, so you know what I mean. Just transform your relationship into what is, real in the now, in the present, and in the future. While for others still, leaving behind the hermit's journey, the solitude, the dreams of having a partner, and actually embracing new faith. Sagittarius can represent long distance travel, or someone from different culture, exotic coming into your life. But the death card, first, you have to let this, die. You have to let the, tides of fate wash the single or solitude away. And finally, let us choose an oracle card for guidance. So we have two here. Two popped out. Be in service and be your best self always. I do believe that be in service appeals to the past. If it's a marriage, as I said, you carried something for both you and your partner. That was a great service. You served the partner, and maybe the partner served you in a totally different way. While for those of you who are single, this is definitely the hermit's path, the service. And be your best self always. This is definitely the Nine of Pentacles. This is where you grew into your true value that you can embody. The Nine of Pentacles is when you embody. Nine of Pentacles is actually a Venusian card. Venus in the sign of Virgo. Yes, debilitated, but earthly, from an earthly perspective, from an earthly point of view, it's where she gets real. You know what I mean? That's real. If you love me, if you, I don't know, whatever, Venusian word you want to put here, then show it physically. Especially, materially. or help me, or you know what I mean, do the work along with me. But be yourself, be your best self always. This also represents that you being your best self. So what you grew into, what you mastered, and you embodying that, giving it a shape and form, is gonna attract the person, the ally, the associate, whatever it is, whoever it is that you need. So this is what I have for you guys, file number 2 for today. I do hope that this was useful and helpful. If you enjoyed the reading, please like and share, because I really need some subscribers in my channel. Thank you again, until next time. So hello everyone, the third and final pile who chose this Empress. Now let us put her back into her deck and shuffle. I would like to remind you guys as well that this Venus retrograde started either on the 22nd, 23rd of July, and it's gonna last until the 3rd of September, and it is taking place in the sign of Leo. So the heart space, creativity, inner child, passions, desire, sensuality, falling in love. Leo rules quite a lot of things. So let us ask Spirit to show us the main themes of Venus retrograde, how it plays out in your life. So we have the Two of Swords, relation. This card names it relation. We have the Two of Wands reversed. And the keyword that the author put here is potential. I'm gonna choose 6 cards because that is how many I chose for the other piles as well. We have freedom, and I do believe this is the Page of Wands. We have 10 of Wands, responsibility. We have the 7 of Pentacles, where the keyword is rewards. And fine, oh, 2 popped out, so I'm gonna keep both of these cards. And both of these are reversed, so Justice and the Ace of Swords, both of these reversed. And the Ace of Swords, the keyword here that the author of this deck, I'm gonna try to show you this deck because it's really nice. It is called Cosmosis, and the reason why I chose this is because it has a heart on it. So heart, both Venus and Leo. So anyway, let's get back to your reading. So the keyword was mental, of course, the Ace of Swords, very strong mental energy. The Two of Swords does represent that you're facing a decision, but I do believe that this decision is not really new. You might have had this urge, this inner preparation, so to speak. Your thoughts kind of pointed it to this direction to, how should I even say this, to make an important choice with your career or life path, or something, an activity, something that is very specific to you, and that an activity that you usually perform regarding that. Now, needless to say, that has a lot of effort, a lot of work, a lot of study, a lot of moments of bravery and courage behind it in the past. Because the Two of Wands is reversed because you've done leaps of faith or initiation or maybe partnerships, alliances in order to, embrace this. May it be a talent, may it be something that has to do with your lucrative purposes, like job. But when I say job, it's not just a job in that sense where it just meant to make money and that's it. This is where you love it, it's part of you. While for other people, still, this can be your spiritual efforts, what you're manifesting, your dreams, your goal, whatever it is that you're setting out on. So you've done a lot for this, but it's reversed because you're at a point where it's getting you nowhere. You know what I mean? You've got to a stage, to the destination, but you're stuck at that destination. That destination that you reached already in the present is not enough. You need to move on, evolve basically, or go to the next milestone, or progress further. And what I also see here is that whatever it is that this activity, passion, hobby, or your soul path involves, well, it's taking away your freedom in a certain way. Of course, everything takes away our freedom, whatever it is that we invest power into, without a shadow of a doubt. But this is where the Ten of Wands, it's hard, it's not rewarding, and you're a little bit stuck where you do not know what exactly to do. You don't want to quit it, you don't want to stop it, but the way things might be suggestive in your life right now, you might think, well, there's no other path. I need to stop it basically. If it's taking away my freedom, if it's getting harder and harder and harder, then what other choice do I have? And this is where we have the Seven of Pentacles. What does this mean? Maybe it's taking away resources that you kind of need, and this is not optional. So it's please excuse my poor choice of words, but maybe sucking up your money and you just can't invest in it anymore. Or if this is where you actually make your money with this, your income, it's scarce. Like, maybe it's enough in a sense of your very, very, very basic needs, but it's not enough for Venus. It's really, really not enough for your Venus. And this is where Venus retrograde. Do I love it or do I don't not love it? You know what I mean? And you might love that the passion. You might love that, you're really, really good at this. You might love that it's part of you. A part of you that was a dream once. And you, in a way, accomplished it. But the financial part, the reward part, for some people it doesn't even have to be financial. It is the physical reflection of whatever that is. You know what I mean? Is that sufficient? Is that enough? Is that, satisfying? Is that making you feel valued and loved? Because if it's simply not enough, then this is where your contemplation, your decision, your choice is valid. As in, you really, really need to think about this very, very strongly and deeply. Because if it's both, in a way scarce and hard and taking away your freedom, well then, even if it's the dream of your lifetime and you're living it and you're doing it, without a physical comfort or a slight comfort there, it cannot serve you very well. And of course, your mental sphere is guiding you to reevaluate it deeply. And I do sense that this Ten of Wands is also the expectations of other people, but in the most positive and loving way, because you do make someone or a group of people, or if it's something creative on the internet, of course, then client or whoever is the recipient of your creativity or your energy or your passions, you do make them happy or you do add value to them, but you might feel that as a pressure, as in, if I quit, then what will these people think? Or will I abandon them? Will I, you know what I mean? There's also that. But this is where the Ace of Swords is reversed. And whenever the Ace of Swords is reversed, well, it kind of means that life will make this choice for you. Because the Ace of Swords cuts. It is the cold, hard sword of truth descending. And that cold, hard sword of truth may represent where your true value lies. How you can make this work. Because maybe right now that's the problem. You don't know how to make it support you much more. Or you may not know how to give you more freedom that you need. Or you might not know how to please these people in a different way. But this Ace of Swords is combined with the Justice card reversed. So this usually says don't make a decision yet. Analyze it, reflect on it, but also open yourself up to the universe, to the hand of fate, why not? Because whenever you're really stuck, and not stuck because you want to be stuck, because you're blind to something, or you're not playing the universe's game, you're actually stuck in thought, in vision, because you love it, but it doesn't support you. So what do? You don't know what to decide. Allow the universe to give you this Ace of Swords moment, because it will help your decision. And this Justice reversed, maybe there is a middle path, like a compromise, which makes both you happy and the material part happy as well. You know what I mean? Maybe there is an offer or alliance, or maybe there is some resources or something coming back from the past. Because as I said, you invested a lot of energy into this, and this is where you had a leap of faith. For some people, this leap of faith was a relocation included. Now you might get something from those years, from those moments when you've done that, and something that wasn't gratified yet. And at the end of the day, the Seven of Pentacles can also be seen exactly as the author suggests, rewards. Certain things, certain energies, especially the ethereal part, especially the part which you do not see ever, needs time to grow. When you plant a seed, then you don't see the seed growing. You don't see the roots. You don't see the upper parts of the plant. And some plants, need a very, very strong root before they start sprouting, before they start growing above the ground. And I do believe this is how your situation is. Don't make any decision yet. It's not black and white. Be a little bit, don't let this Two of Wands reverse turn into frustration, because this Ace of Swords, the Justice card, is going to show you what is growing, what is above the ground, what those seeds of intentions have turned into the invisible part. And this is where the guidance is not very clear of, will you quit this, or will it, that part is under a total shroud of mystery. But allow perhaps Venus retrograde to play out, because I do believe that the Seven of Pentacles sometimes depicts the month of December, harvest, when the grapes are ripe and you may harvest to make wine and stuff like that, or when you dig out potatoes or other root vegetables from the earth. So maybe September, after Venus gets out of retrograde and starts moving on her shadow path, when answers, when clarity, when whatever it is that you need, and also harvest is gonna be appearing in your life. And when I say harvest, if the harvest is bountiful, then your decision is very clear. You know what I mean? But if the harvest is very, very scarce, and this Ace of Swords already cuts it for you, as in, it makes the decision for you, somehow it eliminates the situation, if you know what I mean. Because that's the specific of Ace of Swords. You know what I mean? The Ace of Swords is like the death card of the mental sphere. It transforms, it changes, nothing is gonna stay the same after. And when it's reversed, is a truth that you do not see, do not even suspect. Now let us ask some astrology cards, maybe they can reveal something of where this is playing out in your life. Or what energies, astrological energies are there. If the spirit will finally give us a card. Sixth house, again, work, the service. Sixth house is very much like the Seven of Pentacles. Because you serve, you provide the service, you provide the energy, the time every single day. Because the sixth house is like your daily routines as well. If it's a service, if it's something that you do daily, you know what I mean? A lot of energy, a lot of investment. Or maybe this Venus retrograde, is it in your sixth house? Or the sixth house can represent simply Virgo, where Venus will go after she goes back on her shadow path and exits the sign of Leo. A lot of cards have popped out, but I'm gonna choose Sagittarius. So faith, a lot of faith, and you know, all Sagittarius can represent legal stuff. Maybe you don't know that legally you still need to harvest something, or legal aid, or some help from abroad. And I just needed to pick up the rest of the cards because there was another one here which was face up, and that is Mars. Mars right now is in the sign of Virgo. Mars very soon in Virgo is gonna trine Jupiter in Taurus, an Earth trine. And Mars is conjunct dwarf planet Orcus. All of this suggests justice, divine justice maybe. I need to clarify the tarot again, that Ace of Swords and Justice reversed. I'm pretty clumsy today. So the clarifier was Eight of Swords, and the keyword here is trap, but reversed. So this is a really, really good sign, because this means your freedom, getting to your freedom, where you have more time, more resources. This is where the Ace of Wands energy is being lifted. Your efforts for freedom are, you know, and this is also the choice. You will choose whatever will give you the freedom that you need. You know, that will be your choice. When the choice comes, of course. Because right now it's just the Two of Swords. You're contemplating, you're trying to solve it with logic, but also feeling, intuition, instinct, but it's not there yet. The clarity, the full clarity, the inner clarity might be there, but the external is not. So I'm gonna choose, just like for the other piles, some Astro Tarot, which, you know, depicts the energies. Again, how ironic, this also points to the freedom. Where the leap of faith that you once took only now is gonna be, rewarded in a sense, because this is Leo energy, the risk, and Uranian Aquarius energy, the leap of faith, but also which leads to freedom. So this Astro Tarot is confirmed. Oh, yeah. And this is where the Sagittarian energy and Taurian energy. Money is being poured down from the sky, so what you believe. Maybe the freedom for you guys is financial freedom, harvesting something. The message here is, even if you do not harvest in a classical sense, then the divine is gonna compensate. Then it's gonna be the harvest is coming into your life one way or another. Either through earthly means, if not, then the divine is not gonna allow you to be unrewarded. And finally, some oracle cards for guidance. If the spirit guides want to choose one already, come on. We haven't got all day here. Oh. Well, I'm not one of the most patient readers, because usually it works in an instant. But we do get moments when, like, assurance. Exactly. If you look at the image, the tree, roots upwards. As in, from the roots, it's growing upwards. And this might also depict the tree of life. And maybe for some of you guys, the tree of life is very, very significant. A very personal symbol that you love. The great tree, or the Kabbalistic spheres, where it does mean that it's assuring you that something is manifesting. So, as I said earlier, even if your activity doesn't reward itself in a very down-to-earth way, then the divine is compensating. So you'll be rewarded, you'll be compensated, and that will open the decision for you. And one more, because the previous piles got two, even though I intended one. So, open your heart. Exactly. Assurance. So, the message here is, the guidance here is, may your heart, rest assured that it's gonna lead you somewhere. And it's gonna lead you to greater freedom and greater security. So, thank you, pal number 3, for tuning in. I do hope that this was useful and that this resonated. If you enjoyed this reading, then please like and share, because I really need to grow my channel with subscribers. And of course, thank you everyone for listening. If you'd like to support me and my work, you can donate on the PayPal link in the description below. With this being said, I wish everyone a really, really lovely Venus retrograde season. And until next time, bye for now.